I couldn't be a prouder of a bunch of guys on a team that has come so far from where we were second, third game of the season. I think this is a great example for a lot of people who want to be successful in terms of the perseverance that these guys showed, the character that they had to overcome adversity, the resiliency that they played with, and they're truly a team. Everybody's together. Everybody trusts and respects the principles and values of the organization and the program and buy into them. They're all responsible for their own self-determination, which means they can go do their job. So I couldn't be prouder of a bunch of guys, the progress that we made, the way we compete. You know, Georgia has got an outstanding team. And I think our team wanted to prove all year. There was a lot of naysayers early in the year, so we wanted to show people what we could accomplish and what we could do. There wasn't a better stage to do it, to play the #1 team in the country who had won 29 games in a row. And because that's the end point that says you really got where you wanted to go. You were able to go out there and compete in a game, play for 60 minutes, which it took all 60 minutes, and to win the SEC championship, which is, in my opinion, really, really significant. It means a lot to me. This is a tough conference. I mean, we got like 5 teams that are ranked in the top 15, and we got to play each other. And I think we played 4 out of the 5. So I know you're going to ask me, so I might as well just get to it. Because, you know, having anticipation is something that's important to being a good coach. Not that I think I'm a good coach. But the message that I would send is we won the SEC. You know, we beat the #1 team in the country, which everybody thought on the committee was the #1 team in the country. And they won 29 straight games. So if we needed to do something to pass the eye test, I guess that probably contributed to it significantly. And if you really want the 4 best teams to compete, the 4 most deserving teams that have progressed throughout the season. You know, we're not the same team we were when we played Texas. We're not the same team that when we played South Florida. So I don't think we should be considered as that team right now. And I think people should look at the whole body of work in terms of what the team was able to accomplish and what they were able to do. And I think this team is one of the 4 best teams and one of the teams that's deserving to be in the playoffs.
All right, we'll take questions. If you would, again, raise your hand. Second row. Second row.
Nick, you obviously made your case for the playoff. What would your response be if the committee disagrees?
I've disagreed with them before. I disagreed last year. So I respect them. I know they have a tough job. I know there's a lot of good teams. But I'm just speaking up for our guys on our team who have busted their butt all year long to accomplish what they've accomplished, and I think that needs to be recognized.
Right here. For Jalen, Coach has been very complimentary of your season and your progression. What can you say about his coaching job? People are saying one of the best years he's had as a coach.
The biggest thing as players that we can do best is be coachable. Coach Saban, the biggest thing I want to do is be a sponge for all information, because at the end of the day, all of our coaches are pushing us to be successful. And to speak about our coaching staff, man, they push us every single day, and we set short-term goals and long-term goals before the season even started. And the biggest thing we had to do as players, be coachable, be receptive to all coaching, and just try and find new ways to improve and get 1% better each and every day.
I think our coaches did a fantastic job with these players. Fantastic job of helping guys develop and improve. And I really appreciate our staff of people who contributed to the success of this team. It's not about me. It's about everybody on the team who contributed to the success of this team, players and coaches alike.
Back here in the middle.
Jalen, you guys get the ball back. They had just cut it to 20-17. All the momentum was on Georgia's side. Place was going nuts. What's going through your mind? How do you stay calm in that moment to engineer that drive to score again?
Singular focus. That's the biggest motto that we had going into the game. It's all about singular focus and doing our job. It's all about response, you know. And the biggest thing that we have on this team that contributes to any success is the family acronym, Forget About Me, I Love You. And I think we do a really good job with that. And it was all about singular focus each and every drive.
Back here.
For Dallas, I mean, what has it meant for you to have Coach Steele as a defensive coordinator? I know you mentioned him back in the summer, but what has he brought to this team from start to finish, having Coach Steele in here?
You know, just the main thing that Coach Steele has, you know, instilled in us is just holding us accountable every day in practice, you know, having the right practice habits, and, you know, just going about practice how you play. So, you know, everything that we do before the games and everything, you know, it's just all a display of what we do in practice. So, you know, you just practice how you play.
Front row right here.
A question for Coach Saban. When Georgia played Georgia Tech last week, Tech got a couple of touchdowns on a fake toss with the quarterback cutting it up the middle, just like the play Jalen ran at the end to kill the clock. Anything from that game, scouting-wise, leads you to believe that play would be successful?
Well, I can't say that it exactly came from that game, but, you know, we watch almost every game a team plays the whole season. And you're always looking for things that people had success against them, things that created issues for them. So, and that's something that I think our offensive staff did a really good job of, to have some of those plays in the bag when we needed to take the air out of it at the end of the game and not give them the ball back.
Just right here.
Nick, a year from now, the likes of Georgia and Alabama, and even Texas will be playing for seeding probably in this type of game, maybe even for a bye. Can this moment ever be like this where it's so intense, so much on the line? I know the SEC championship's important, but we're kind of at the end of an era tonight.
Yeah, well, I've been through a few of these eras where we didn't have a national championship game, where 2 teams played. Now 4 teams been playing. Now 12 teams are going to play. So, but I think when we have 12 teams, you all still make a case for 12 more. That's kind of your job. So, just like the basketball tournament. I mean, how many teams they put in? 68? And then you have a 2-hour show on who else should have got in or who got in that shouldn't have. I mean, that's always going to be. That's part of it. That's what you do to create interest, which I appreciate.
You guys contribute playing games like
Yeah. But there's one other thing I want to mention I appreciate. We had 2 hellacious drives in this game, all right, that this guy contributed to, and some receivers made some great catches too. Right before the half, scoring right before the half, and when they got 20-17, which you've already mentioned, that was a great drive. And a necessary drive, no doubt, but a great drive. A lot of plays made in those 2 drives.
Back here in the aisle.
Coach Saban, what can you tell us about the status of Kool-Aid, and also just please assess the play of the secondary today?
Other than the one big play that we gave up, we didn't play well early. You know, the first drive, we were sort of out of sorts. We settled down and played pretty well. We gave up the one big play over on their sidelines, which led to a field goal. And then we got really bad field position on the punt return. It wasn't a very good punt. Guy did a good job. They put 2 returners back so they could get the ball fielded, and they hit us. So I thought they did a pretty good job. I think Georgia's got a really good quarterback and really good skill guys, and I thought they did a pretty good job of limiting their big plays.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid has a concussion. So he goes in concussion protocol. We'll figure out how bad it is, how long it takes, when we clear. I mean, all the testing mechanisms that we have right now, I think are really beneficial to players not getting multiple concussions. So hopefully we'll do, our medical staff has always done a really good job of protecting the players when these things occur.